If you've spent any time in cat groups online, you've seen the post, someone's cat died, the treat bag is in the photo, the comments fill with mine too, it gets shared 10,000 times, and the brand named in it is the best-selling cat treat in America. We went looking for the evidence behind that post, not the screenshots, the records, FDA recall databases, company statements, independent fact checks. And what we found is going to annoy people on both sides of that argument, which is exactly why we're going to show it to you at number 1. Here's what else is in this video. A freeze-dried cat treat recall from 2025 that most owners never heard about, where the FDA's warning was as much about the humans as the cats. The truth about the word dental on a treat pouch, including which products have actually proven it in trials, and how you can check that yourself in about 30 seconds. And the quiet math that makes treats the most underrated health risk in a cat's life. Not poison, not contamination, calories. This is part 3 of our cat investigation. Wet food, dry food, and now the pouch on top of the fridge. Public records, on screen, all the way down. Let's start. Number 7, Friskies Party Mix, the little canister, the rattle that brings a cat from 3 rooms away, and that reaction is the entire product, so let's talk about how it's engineered. Read the panel and you'll find a familiar shape from our dry food investigation. Grain and byproduct structure carrying the volume, with the flavor delivered by a coating. That coating is where the industry's real technology lives. There's a whole science of palatants, flavor systems sprayed onto kibble, and treats, often built from hydrolyzed animal digest, specifically formulated to make cats reject other food and demand this one. It works. That's not an accusation, it's the product spec. Here's the consequence nobody prints on the canister. A treat engineered to be more exciting than dinner competes with dinner. Cats begin holding out, owners read the standoff as she's picky and add more treats. The bag has done exactly what it was built to do, and the cat's actual nutrition, the balanced part, the part with taurine and specified protein, gets displaced by the part that's mostly carbohydrate and coating. No recall story here, and we say that plainly. Number 7 earns its place as the clearest example of the treat aisle's real business model, not feeding your cat, out-competing your cat's food. Number 6, the pinball brands. Meow Mix treats and the cluster of budget labels that have been traded between corporations like baseball cards. We've documented this pattern across 3 videos now, and cat treats are where it's most extreme. Meow Mix has changed corporate hands repeatedly, most recently when its parent sold off an entire pet division. Same jingle, new boardroom, again. Here's why that matters more for treats than for food. Complete and balanced cat food has a nutritional floor, a legal standard it must hit. Treats are supplemental. They have no such floor to defend. So when a new owner needs margin from a legacy brand at a locked price point, the treat line is the softest place in the portfolio to find it. Nobody has to announce a reformulation. The pouch looks identical. A practical instruction for treats specifically, reread the panel every few months, especially after you hear a brand's been sold. The label is the only notification you're going to get. Number 5. The bulk bin and the unbranded import, the cat side of a story we told in our dog treat investigation, and it deserves its own warning. Bulk treats carry no lot code, no manufacturer, and no country on the scoop bin. That means when something goes wrong, there is no mechanism to tell you. In our dog treat episode, the FDA and CDC's advice during the 2019 pig ear outbreak wasn't to avoid a brand, it was to avoid the entire category because nothing in a bulk bin can be traced. 154 people were sickened in that outbreak, 35 hospitalized. Humans from handling pet treats. Cats add a specific wrinkle. Cat treats are handled more intimately than any other pet product. They're fed by hand, they're in pockets. Kids administer them. The transfer path from bin to human is shorter here than anywhere else in the store. The rule for this segment is simple and absolute. If it doesn't have a bag, a lot code, and a manufacturer, it doesn't go in your cat, because if there's ever a recall, you will never know it applied to you. Number 4, freeze-dried raw treats. And this one is complicated because it's also on our safe list later. Stay with me because the distinction is the whole point. October 2025, the FDA announced that Forward Dynamics recalled freeze-dried pet treats sold under multiple brand names, including Bell Pepper Cat's freeze-dried chicken heart slices and Kanu Pet's freeze-dried chicken heart treats, after FDA sampling found salmonella. Product had shipped from Wisconsin to retailers in Wisconsin, New York, and Florida. To be fair and exact, no illnesses in pets or humans were reported, and the company traced 100% of distribution and contacted every direct customer. That's a well-executed recall. But read the FDA's own framing, because it's the reason this segment exists. The agency's warning emphasized that humans could be infected by handling the treats or touching surfaces they contacted. Once again, the pet product is a human pathogen story. Here's the physics, same as the raw-coated kibble in our dry food video. Freeze-drying preserves. It is not a reliable kill step for pathogens the way cooking is. That's not a scandal, it's chemistry, and any honest raw advocate will tell you the same. Which means the single ingredient freeze-dried treat that we genuinely recommend comes with conditions attached. Buy from companies that test and publish, wash your hands like you handled raw chicken because you did, and never let a kid free feed them. Same product category, two completely different risk profiles, decided entirely by sourcing and handling. That's number 4. Number 3 isn't one brand, it's a word, dental. Walk the cat treat aisle and count how many pouches say dental, tartar, oral care, or healthy teeth. Now here's the thing almost no cat owner knows. In the United States, there is a real independent standard for that claim, and most of those pouches don't carry it. The Veterinary Oral Health Council, the VOHC, publishes a list of products that submitted actual trial data proving they reduced plaque or tartar, not marketing, submitted evidence, reviewed, then listed publicly at vohc.org. Anyone can read it in 30 seconds. Go look at the feline list and you'll notice how short it is. Feline Greenies has carried a VOHC seal for tartar since 2005. Purina Dentalife cat treats and ProPlan veterinary dental products are on it. Whiskas Dentabites is on it. That's roughly the neighborhood, a handful of products, against an aisle full of pouches, implying the same benefit. So the instruction for this segment is the most actionable thing in this video. If a cat treat says dental and it is not on the VOHC list, the claim has not been demonstrated to that standard. It may still be a fine treat. It has not proven the thing the front of the bag is selling. And here's the part that reframes the whole aisle. No treat, VOHC listed or not, replaces brushing or a veterinary cleaning. The best dental treat in the world is a supplement to dental care, not a substitute for it. The pouch will never say that, we will. Number 2, Feline Greenies. And we're putting a VOHC listed product on the avoid list, which requires an explanation. Here it is. Credit first, in full. Feline Greenies did the hard thing. It submitted trial data and earned VOHC acceptance for tartar back in 2005. In an aisle full of unverified dental claims, that's real, and we just spent a whole segment telling you to look for exactly that seal. Now the panel. Feline Greenies formulas have historically been built on chicken meal plus ground wheat, brewer's rice, corn gluten meal, a substantially plant-based recipe. For a dog, that's ordinary. For a cat, it's worth pausing on. Cats are obligate carnivores, the strictest meat eaters in your house with no real dietary requirement for grain at all. So the best-selling healthy cat treat in America is largely a grain product, one that works mechanically by crunch to scrape teeth. And there's the ownership footnote our regular viewers can predict. Greenies is Mars, the same conglomerate behind Whiskas, Sheba, Iams, Royal Canin, Temptations, and a large share of the veterinary clinics where you'd ask whether Greenies are any good. So how do you hold both facts? Like this: the dental claim is verified, the nutritional profile is mediocre, and the correct use follows from both. As an occasional dental supplement within a calorie budget, defensible. As the daily handful people actually feed, from a bag marketed as healthcare, that's how a grain snack becomes routine. Verified claims and good nutrition are two different tests. This product passes one. Number 1, Temptations, the best-selling cat treat in America, in most kitchens with a cat in them, and the subject of the post we opened this video with. Let's do this properly because you deserve better than either version you've been handed online. The claim: in 2016, a Facebook post went viral alleging Temptations treats had killed multiple cats. It spread for years. Versions of it still circulate today, and you have almost certainly seen one. What we found when we checked: the fact-checking organization Snopes investigated that claim and rated it unproven. The post was removed. We searched FDA records and found no FDA recall, withdrawal, or enforcement action tied to those death allegations, and no substantiated body of complaints establishing that temptations caused renal failure in cats. In other words, the scary post that has been shared millions of times is not supported by the public record. We could have made this video the other way. The truth about temptations with a scary thumbnail would outperform this one. It would also be dishonest, and every channel that ran it made your feed worse. On this channel, a brand is judged by its record. That standard has to work in both directions, or it isn't a standard. So here is what's actually fair to say about temptations, and it's not nothing. First, it's a Mars product, the same conglomerate that appears in every one of our videos, now including the number 2 entry on this list. Second, the real risk with this specific product isn't contamination, it's the shake. Temptations is arguably the most behaviorally effective treat ever built for cats. The sound of the pouch, the pace of the reward, the way a cat learns to demand it. And that's where the honest health story lives. Roughly 6 in 10 cats in the US are estimated to be overweight or obese, a condition tied to diabetes, arthritis, and shorter lives. Treats are supplemental calories by definition, and veterinary guidance commonly puts treats at no more than about 10% of daily intake. For a typical 10-pound indoor cat, that ceiling is small, a couple dozen calories. A generous pour from that pouch, twice a day, walks right through it. That's the actual temptation story, not poison. A product so good at generating a behavior that owners feed past the point where it's a treat and into the point where it's a meal, while the packaging celebrates exactly that behavior. The viral post was wrong. The concern underneath it, that the treat we feed most casually deserves more scrutiny, was right. Both things. That's what a record looks like when you actually read it. 3 tests for cat treats: verified claim, or single named ingredient, traceable source, and a calorie budget you actually respect. No sponsors. Safe pick number 3, a VOHC listed dental treat used as a supplement, not a substitute. Check the current feline list yourself at vohc.org before you buy. It changes. This is the only category in the aisle where a health claim has independent evidence behind it. Use it inside the 10% rule, alongside real dental care, and it's doing an actual job. Safe pick number 2, single ingredient freeze-dried treats, bought carefully. One named protein, named country of manufacture, ideally a company that tests and publishes. After segment 4, you know the caveat. Freeze drying isn't a kill step, so handle it like raw chicken, wash your hands, and don't hand the bag to a child. Bought that way, it's the closest thing in the store to feeding a cat what a cat actually is, a small predator eating a small piece of meat. Safe pick number 1, your own kitchen, and this one's almost free. A few flakes of plain cooked chicken, a small piece of plain cooked salmon, no salt, no seasoning, no onion or garlic, ever. Those are genuinely toxic to cats. Cooked, so there's no pathogen question. That is a complete, appropriate, obligate carnivore treat, and your cat will lose its mind for it, exactly like the pouch. The other free option, count out a small portion of your cat's own daily kibble and hand feed it as treats. 0 extra calories, 0 new ingredients, all of the bonding, because for your cat, the ritual was always the reward. The pouch was for you. It has been in every one of these videos, and it's true again here. The treat aisle in one sentence, the least regulated shelf, the loudest health claims, and the only pet product engineered specifically to override your cat's own appetite. Your 3 questions forever: is the health claim verified on the VOHC list or just on the front of the bag? Can I trace it, brand, lot, country, and does it fit the budget? 10% of the day, not a second dinner. And the one from this video that matters most: when someone shows you a scary post about a pet brand, check the record before you share it. We did. The record said something more useful than the rumor. The pet food cheat sheet covers the whole store now: wet, dry, treats, dog and cat, with recall histories and the calorie math. Link below. Next investigation, the map. 5 corporations, dozens of brands you thought competed with each other, and the veterinary clinics they quietly bought, the video that explains every episode we've made. Subscribe, because once you see that map, this whole store looks different. And if a friend has a treat pouch on top of their fridge, send them this one, especially if they've shared that post.